Welcome back to Stuttering Sports. Today is July 30th, 2021, and the topic for today is the Miami Dolphins and why I don't know how to feel about them anymore. Because I'd like to take us back on a little trip to Week 1, 2019, where the Dolphins were just dogged by the Ravens, something like 59-10, and then Week 2, they got dogged by the Patriots by like 30-40 points. And someone retired at halftime, Minkah Fitzpatrick got traded, and things are not looking good for rookie head coach Brian Flores. But then, towards the end of that year, they ended up winning, 5-6 games maybe? And they were winning games quietly. They were in close competitive battles. Brian Flores seemed to really build the culture among a less talented roster. And then that 2020 offseason, they went ham. They signed a bunch of guys. Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy. They had 3 first-round draft picks, got their potential franchise QB in Tua, got your potential franchise tackle in Austin Jackson, and just bolstered the defense with Noah Igbeghini, which is awesome. This Dolphins team had so much momentum, and it carried into the season beautifully. They just barely missed out on the playoffs, and yes, the offense was iffy, but the defense that Brian Flores had constructed, oh my god, it was incredible. It was fun to watch. Brian Flores seemed like a guy that everyone loved, and I personally loved him myself. He was turning this Dolphins team around, and well, he still kind of is. But with the more recent news of Xavier Howard wanting to get the fuck out of there, and them cutting Kyle Van Noy pretty early this offseason, I can't help but feel like the tides are turning for this Miami team, and I don't really know how to feel about them now, because they had all the momentum, and it seems to be halted at this point. And now it's very obvious that this take is coming after Xavier Howard, one of the best corners in the league, who just had 10 picks last year, is requesting a trade because, well, he wanted a pay raise and they didn't give it to him, which doesn't make much sense to me considering how the Dolphins have a fuck ton of cap space. And you cut Kyle Van Noy, which obviously the salary cap went down this year. He was a bit of a cap casualty, but in my opinion, he's a guy that you really want to keep as a cornerstone of your defense. And Xavier Howard is not only a cornerstone for your defense, he's a cornerstone for your franchise. The dude is a stud, and you have Byron Jones and Noah Igbeghini who should progress this year alongside him. That's fucking nuts. It would seem like you'd want to keep that. But the Dolphins culture, who had all the momentum players, oh my goodness, they love Brian Flores. Brian Flores is trying to fight some of the Bengals players. It seems to be turning a bit, and it seems to kind of be cracking, because we saw during the last offseason, the Dolphins went all in on defense. Of course, they drafted 2 offensive guys during the draft because, well, they had to. They had to draft their quarterback, and they had to fix up the offensive line. But it was clear that the main improvement came from the defense. The defense is the reason why they are in playoff contention, because as the offense was not bad, they had they had the ongoing storyline of will Tua start, and then when he started to start, is he a franchise quarterback after only like 2 games? I'll get to Tua later, but I would like to say the trajectory for this Dolphins team seems to be very focused on the offense, and well, rightfully so, it needs work, but you still got to take care of your defensive guys when you just built this fantastic defense with a fantastic defensive head coach in Brian Flores. You'd seem like you'd still want to take care of those guys and make those guys your main priority, and they didn't. They cut Kyle Van Noy, and they didn't give Xavier Howard what he wanted, which you could have easily done. Just give him a fucking pay raise. The guy had 10 picks last year. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. He's a stud. And the moves the Dolphins front office made for the offense was very good. They got Will Fuller for a 1-year deal. They drafted Jalen Waddle. They also spent the 2nd round pick, or I guess one of their 2 2nd round picks, on Liam Eichenberg. And they also drafted tight end Hunter Long during the 3rd round. They signed Malcolm Brown, Jacoby Brissett. This offense had a lot of work done to it, and rightfully so. It needed it, and I think they made very, very good moves. But it all comes down to Tua. And with the defensive culture kind of cracking, I think that puts a lot of pressure on Tua. A lot of pressure, even more than he had before. Because it's basically a coin flip of if Tua's going to be a franchise guy for the Dolphins. This is a coin flip to me. Because obviously it was unfair what he had to go through like last year, being constantly compared to Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. That is completely unfair. Those were two studs. And Tua had an average rookie year, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's still a coin flip if he's going to be a franchise guy or not. And I think the focus should have been on the offense this offseason. No one is denying that. But nonetheless, you still have to make sure your defense is taken care of, especially two of your best guys on that defense. And now one of them is already gone to a division rival, and one of them saying, hey, get me the fuck out. I'm only here because I won't get fined. And the reason why I have such a problem with this is because as long as Brian Flores is the head coach, which hopefully will be for at least a decade because he's a stud of a head coach, the mainstay for the Dolphins is gonna be the defense. He is a defensive-minded head coach. That's what they tackled first, was the defense, and made one of the top 5 defenses in the league. And now they're kind of neglecting that in favor of the offense, and I don't like that. I don't think that's going to work long term. Even if the offense does turn out to be great, Tua turns out to be a franchise QB, which is awesome. I think with Brian Flores as head coach, the mainstay for the Dolphins team should be the defense, and they're neglecting it. I get that the salary cap went down, so Kyle Van Noy was a part of that. A part of that release was due to the salary cap, and you also want to give Van Ginkel more snaps, which is fine and well. But Kyle Van Noy was one of your best guys. He was a leader for that defense, and you just axed him a year into a 4-year contract. And I'd assume Xavier Howard is another leader for that defense, a franchise cornerstone, and you're mistreating him. That doesn't make much sense to me. You would figure that you'd want to give the defensive guys what they want, because the Dolphins, they have the cap space to do it. You might as well fucking do it, because that is why you were winning games last year, and instead you're relying on the coin flip that Tua turns out to be a franchise guy. And I'm not a Tua hater. He had an average rookie year last year, and there's nothing wrong with that. He just had the unfair comparisons to Joe Burrow and to Justin Herbert. And while the Dolphins had to win some games to stay in playoff contention, which is why Fitzmagic had to come in for that Raiders game. I'm just saying, I don't know how to feel about this Dolphins team, and more so the Dolphins culture moving forward. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to leave a comment, don't just call me a fucking retard. Like, give me like genuine shit. Like, so we can have a little debate if you do disagree. So yeah, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more stuff like this. Hope you enjoyed, and have a great day.